The opening verse of Parashat Vayeshev raises a profound question, explains Rabbi Yoshiyahu Pinto. What is the essence of serenity? Rashi teaches us that Jacob sought peace and tranquility, but immediately, the troubles of Joseph leapt upon him. As Rashi writes, the righteous seek to dwell in peace. The Satan says, is it not enough that the righteous are destined for the world to come? They also want peace in this world, but what deeper message lies within these words? According to Rabbi Pinto, many of us aspire to tranquility and respite from struggles and challenges. However, the Torah teaches us that peace is not a natural state for the righteous. It is the daily efforts and actions that bring blessings into the world. For instance, acts that may seem simple like blowing the shofar or waving the lulav are far from insignificant. The sound of the shofar moves God from the throne of judgment to the throne of mercy, and the waving of the four species blocks harmful spiritual forces in the heavens. Even when a person does not see immediate results from their actions, it is essential to remember that every small deed below creates a significant impact above. Jacob sought peace not for himself, but for the future generations of the Jewish people. However, God taught him an important lesson. Serenity is part of a broader spiritual journey that shapes the destiny of generations to come. Just as the trials endured by the righteous in the past served as a spiritual blueprint for their descendants, so too do the actions and choices of an individual influence not only their present, but also the future of their children and grandchildren. When Joseph was thrown into the pit, the Torah states, the pit was empty, there was no water in it but it was filled with snakes and scorpions. Why snakes? Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai explains the curse of the serpent, dust shall you eat all the days of your life. At first glance, this seems like a blessing, as the serpent's sustenance is always readily available. However, in reality, it is a curse. God provides the serpent with everything it needs so that it will not approach or seek him. The snakes in Joseph's pit symbolize the great trial awaiting him in Egypt, not a state of abundant blessing, but a constant struggle with hardship and dependence on God. Joseph faced two major trials: the trial of immorality, when Potiphar's wife attempted to lead him astray, and the trial of faith, when he was in prison and strengthened his belief in God. Through these experiences, Joseph rectified generational flaws and paved the way for future resilience. Rabbi Pinto recounts a story about a righteous man who asked his students how they thought the world should look. Some replied, more wealth, others, more children, and some said, a world with less struggle. The righteous man replied, the world that God created is perfect. The lack we perceive exists only in our interpretation, not in the reality itself. Similarly, the challenges we face in life are temporary, but through them, we build stronger foundations for the future. Jacob, Joseph, and the righteous figures of history teach us that true serenity does not lie in comfort or stillness, but in constant progress and striving. Only after enduring challenges do we realize that everything we experienced was for the greater good. This, concludes Rabbi Pinto, is the ultimate form of peace. This article was written in cooperation with Shuva Israel.